Today happens to be our Welfare Sunday, in which we have to give to those that need. We know Jesus loves a cheerful giver. God loves a cheerful giver. So if you still want to do more, you can do more. You can get the account number from the ushers and do more. The more you give, the more you get. I can testify to that. So it's Welfare Sunday. I'm glad to be here. And I want to also say, are you glad to be here? Good to have you in church. Are you sure you're glad to be here? This my glasses doesn't allow me to see too far. Are you glad to be here? She knows who I'm talking. She knows who I am talking to. Joyla, are you glad to be in church? You know it's because I love you. So good to have everyone in church this morning. God bless you. So this morning we are looking at the topic, preparing for leadership. Preparing for leadership. And then we are taking particular attention, looking at particularly influence and responsibility. So if you are preparing for leadership, then we need to look at these two elements, influence and responsibility. I want us to start our reading from the book of Matthew, chapter 20, verse 25. Matthew chapter 20, verse 25. Jesus, knowing their thoughts, called them to his side and said, "Kings and those with great authority in this world rule oppressively over their subjects like tyrants." There's a story before and there's a story after. But I'm just picking that one that says, Jesus, knowing their thoughts, called them to his side and said, "Kings and those with great authority in this world rule oppressively over their subjects like tyrants." Okay, rulers in this world, they love to show their power. And they use their authority over the people. They love to throw their weight around. They lord it over others. They tyrannize people. They flaunt their authority over those under them. They hold people in subjection. A little power goes into their heads. Have you heard about a governor in Nigeria here, who, because it was being criticized, picked up the criticizer and locked him up because he was being criticized? He has not even done anything wrong. Okay, all he did wrong was criticize. That's how they throw their power around. They lord it over people. You cannot talk. You dare not talk. That's what is being done out there in the world. The world lacks quality leadership. Can you imagine the dregs of people that are leading us as a nation? They have no idea of why they are there. They don't know what they have gone there to do. The world lacks quality leadership in almost every sphere of life. Okay, you have made somebody minister of education. He has no idea what education is about. He doesn't even know where to start from. He cannot sit down and draw up a curriculum. That's why today they will give you a textbook for the history of Nigeria, and they will exclude a particular tribe, as if those tribes don't exist. So we lack quality leadership in almost every sphere of life. When you're going to make somebody minister of health, he has no idea what health is. And then when they are going to draw up budget, they draw up a budget that looks as if, are you sure you know what you're doing? So I'm saying we lack leadership, quality leadership. Even at home. We have leadership at home. Are they quality? The father that is the head of the home has no idea what it means to be a father. We also lack quality leadership in the society. Of course, in the society, in the communities. In government, like I have used examples I have told you about, when you sit somebody down and say, as a leader in this place, what are your responsibilities? It cannot clearly state it out. The world is in need of genuine leaders who are willing to take responsibility for the present situation and conditions that we have found ourselves. The world is in need of genuine leaders. And the responsibility for producing quality leaders that the world needs is upon the shoulders of the church. You and me are the church. So it is our responsibility to produce quality leaders. And what are we doing about it? Young men, young women should be prepared and trained to impact and make a difference in their individual spheres of influence. What's your sphere of influence? Are you prepared? Are you being trained to make a difference in that sphere of influence, in that your sphere of influence? There are 4 types of people in the world. 4 types of people. The first type of people are those who watch things happen. They watch things happen. We call them observers. We call them bystanders. We call them spectators. My father, when he was alive, would say, sit down, look. They are sit down, look people. They watch things happen. They have no active participation. They don't do anything. They have no active steps to influence outcomes. Things are there to be done, but they just sit down and look at you. And we call them thermometers. I'm sure you know thermometers. Thermometer is an instrument for determining the temperature. Before you are told that you have a fever, it means your temperature has gone past a certain level. Such people are thermometers. They go through life feeling powerless to create internal or external change. Even in their own lives, they just go like that. Like they cannot influence even their own lives internally. Not to talk of being able to influence other people. We call them observers. They watch things happen. The second type of people in this world are those who let things happen. They let things happen. This type of people are passive. No need to control any situation. They allow events to flow. I go, they follow you, they go. They allow events to flow. They allow situations to resolve their own. To be resolved on their own. Things are not working well, but they're like, okay, it will change. They are not instruments of change. The third type of people in the world are those who ask what just happened. They ask, what just happened? This type of people process information more slowly. They seem caught unaware. They are disconnected from the situation. I found people that when you ask, it's like they don't live in this world. Or like they don't live in Nigeria. They are just here physically. They have no idea what is going on. They are disconnected. There was a time I was at VI and I had to go do some health things. So when I came out of the place, I saw these 2 guys eating from the dustbin. I mean, they brought food out of the dustbin. I saw it, and they were eating it. My heart broke. And I thought to myself, so where do we go from here? How do you begin to help these ones? What help can I do now that will bring a permanent solution to the lives of these children. Do you know that our leaders don't know that people eat in dustbin? They don't have any idea that people are going through a lot. They have put themselves in a kind of a cocoon. There are those that just ask, what just happened? They are disconnected from what is going on, the situation around them. And it's sad. And then the fourth type of people in the world are those who make things happen. This kind of people create opportunities. These kinds of people are driven by passion. These kind of people take action. They make a difference. They get into this place now. You might possibly want to call them criticizers, but they are not criticizers. They look around, this is not well done, this is not well placed, I need to do something about it, and they go about doing it. They are those that make things happen. They are what we can call catalysts. If you have been in chemistry class before, a catalyst is a substance that speeds up a chemical reaction. And it brings about a change. So those that make things happen bring about change. They are not satisfied with what is going on now. And they will do all they can to make that change. We call them catalysts. We also call them thermostats. If you drive a car, you possibly know a thermostat. It's a control device that regulates the temperature. And if anything goes bad with the thermostat, you are going to begin to have your car heating up. So they are thermostats. They have the power to impact their own life, first of all, the lives of those around them, and their environment. They have that ability, the power to impact the lives of those around them. So what am I saying? Quality leaders are those who make things happen. They just don't sit around and watch things, the flow of events. They are not disconnected. They see a need. They do something about it. They are not caught unawares. Like, oh, I didn't know. I didn't see. And you are telling yourself, oh, I did not see it. And you are in that environment and you are saying, I did not see it. Quality leaders are those who make things happen. And you and I, yourself and myself, are meant to fulfill some unique roles and playing our part in the whole. There is a whole, and you have a part to play in that whole. The most important component of leadership is influence. Influence. Quality leadership is measured by the degree to which you can influence others. The degree to which you can influence others. I said quality leadership. It's not by how you manipulate them. You don't manipulate people that follow you or intimidate them, which we find around. So the essence of leadership is the exercise of influence. The essence of leadership is the exercise of influence. So what is leadership? Leadership is the ability to direct others by influence. To direct others by influence, not by manipulating them, not by intimidating them. It means you as a leader, you have the ability to influence others to a common goal. Or we have this to achieve now. You are able to influence others to that common goal. You have the capacity to rally others to a common purpose. That is leadership. So having influence is when your action inspires others. Your action inspires them to dream more. As a leader, or wanting to become a leader. Your action has to inspire others to dream more. You are able to enlarge their dream. They have a dream. Everybody has their dream. And as a quality leader, you're able to inspire them to dream more. You're able to inspire them to learn more. That means you expose them to knowledge. You also have the action. You have when your action is inspiring them to do more. You commit more work into their hands. Leaders in the making. Leaders in the making. You as a leader, you have to be able to inspire them to do more. So I would say when things are committed to you, they're asking you for more. Something is going to happen in your life that will push you forward. Let it not be the time that you start to complain. Why are they always calling me? So having influence is also when you are able to inspire others to become more. You challenge them to stretch beyond their strengths. So you inspire them to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and to become more. That's when we can say you have influence. So I go to preparing for leadership. Are you preparing for leadership? What is supposed to begin to happen as you begin to prepare for leadership? Number one, discover yourself. Your true self. Who are you? If I ask who are you now, somebody will likely say, I am Benedicta. And then I look at you like, I didn't ask for your name. What I asked for is who you are. Who are you? Who did the Creator made you to be? What are the qualities? What are the skills that God has put within you? That is who you are. In preparing for leadership, number 2, discover your purpose. Your reason for existence. Why are you here? I'm not saying why are you in church. I'm not saying why are you in this hall. I'm saying why are you here on this earth? What is the meaning and purpose for your life? If you are able to get that, it will help you to know that you are your purpose. You are your purpose. Number 3, in preparing for leadership, know your vision. Know your vision. What is vision? Vision is a picture of where you want to end up. Vision is an idea that is inspired by God. What's your vision? What's your vision of a future that reflects the fulfillment of your life's purpose? One of my visions is to see a child totally transformed along the line of that child's purpose and potential. If you ask who I am, I'll tell you I'm a nurturer. I'm a tender. That's what God made me to be. So each time I see a child, no matter how young or old the child is, the first thing that comes to me, I want to see that this child fulfills the purpose and potential for which God has made her or him. So what's your vision? You need to know your vision. You are your vision. That vision I just told you now is who I am. You are your vision. Number 4, what are you inspired to do so you can inspire others? What are you inspired to do so you can inspire others? I've had some children pass through my school then, and the way sometimes I look at them and I'm like, It's not that I intentionally did this to these children. But somehow, I have rubbed off on them so much that I see myself. There was a child in school then who, I hope I don't mention her name. There was a child in school then who began to see things the way. The child was just 7, 8. And as at the time she came, she was 5 years. And she became very close to me in school. She gets to school and she feels, because I love living things. I love not only humans, children. I just want to tend something. So in the school then, I had several pots of plants around me. I just love to have pots of plants around me. And I tend to them. This child has watched me so much that she told the parents at home, I have to get to school early. I don't want to be late. And you know why she doesn't want to get late to school? She wants to help me tend my plants. So every morning she gets to school, she waters the plants. She removes the weeds. And in my mind, I'm like, I never told her to do that. But she keeps doing that. And then she got to the point of, once I get into the school, she collects my bag, she picks my key from the bag, opens my office, opens the window, put my bag on the table. I mean, I didn't tell her to do all that. But she has been under some form of influence that I was now very careful of how I was handling the children, because I know that somehow somebody is watching. God help you that you don't inspire people to do negative things. So what are you inspired to do so that you can inspire others? What are the principles and values that you need to adhere? That's number 5. What are the principles and values that you need to adhere to for your vision to be fulfilled? There are some principles and some values that you need to adhere to so that vision can be fulfilled. 1, I'll just take some of them. 1 is integrity. Integrity is living the same way in private as in public. When people see you outside, you're a different person. When people see you inside, they are not the same. You can't say it's like the opposite side of the coin when they look at you inside and they look at you outside. Integrity has to do with standing up for what you believe, even if you have to stand alone. What are you standing alone for? Even if you are the only one standing for that thing, you stand up for it. Another value we look at is trust. Trust is when you can be relied upon. You are doing what is expected of you consistently. Not just a one-off. You are consistently doing that thing. You have become a product of time-tested character. Every time you deliver. Every time you deliver. You don't give excuses. Another principle that you have to look at is the principle of love and service. You always like to be served, right? Let's look at what Jesus said in Mark chapter 9, verse 33 to 35. Mark chapter 9. If I have the easy-to-read version, Brother Tolu, I'll love it. Mark chapter 9, verses 33 to 35 says, Jesus and his followers went to Capernaum. They went into a house, and Jesus said to them, I heard you arguing on the way here today. What were you arguing about? But the followers did not answer because their argument on the road was about which one of them was the greatest. Jesus sat down and called the 12 apostles to him. He said, whoever wants to be the most important must make others more important than themselves. They must serve everyone else. So you are being trained to be a leader. You must serve everyone else. That is why the present leaders we have in Nigeria, political leaders, don't know the meaning of leadership. They feel they are our Oga. They can tell us whatever they want to tell us. They have flipped the coin. And so things are happening to us abnormally. You heard what Jesus said. So the principle of love and sacrifice. Also the principle of faithfulness. consistently loyal. You want to learn how to be a leader? You must be consistently loyal. Another one is self-control. That's in 1 Peter 5, 8-9. Self-control. You control yourself. You are careful with what you do and what you say. Another one is steadiness. I see this in James chapter 1, verse 19. James chapter 1, verse 19 says, "My dear brothers and sisters, always be more willing to listen than to speak. Keep control of your anger." So we are required, as you are learning to be a leader, to respond with calmness and gentleness. Of course, people will want to stir up things in you, but now, because of who you are becoming, you will have to learn to respond with calmness and gentleness. Then the number 6 that I was looking at, preparing for leadership, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 6, know your passion. What drives you? What energizes you? What directs the management of your time? What are you spending time on? What directs the management of your energy? The management of your resources? The management of your priorities? What are your priorities? You just wake up in the morning and you don't have a drawn-up plan of, this is how my day is going to go. And you tell yourself, I'm just living each day as it comes. At the end of the day, you are your passion. You are your passion. I look at the second component of leadership, which is responsibility. It is the willingness to face and handle any task given to you. Willingness to face and handle any task given to you. You are fulfilling roles and the task assigned to you. Sometimes it might not even be assigned to you, but you look at it as this thing needs to be done, and you take it upon yourself to do it. I want us to take a look at Luke chapter 12, verses 48b, the B part. Luke chapter 12, verse 48b. It says, whoever has been given much will be responsible for much. Much more will be expected from the one who has been given more. What has been committed into your hands? You have been given something to work on. You have been given a task. It is expected that you will deliver on it. Don't be a part of those that will say, they're always speaking on me. They're always asking me to do something. Why is she always speaking on me? Mrs. B. Why am I the one she's always calling to do things? You know you are called either of two reasons. One, it's either you are lazy and they are trying to get you moving. Somebody is trying to push you to make you do things so that you learn to do things, so that you learn to use your initiative and you learn to be proactive. Another reason is maybe you always want responsibility and you can be depended on. Like that child I told you about. She's so reliable. Sometimes she'll come to my office and say, Mrs. B, tell Ms. Rosemary, Ms. Rosemary is our cleaner. Tell Ms. Rosemary that she should not clean our class today. We are going to clean our class. And believe you me, she will rally around every one of them. And they will clean the class. They will clean the board. They will clean the chairs. They will clean the toilet. It's amazing. So don't be one of them that will say, they're always speaking on me. Am I the only one here? Why are they always asking me to do something? Be one of those that will say, can I help with anything? That is responsibility. Can I do anything else? That is responsibility. That's someone who wants to be a leader. Winston Churchill said, the price of greatness is responsibility. So for you to attain greatness, you have to show responsibility. Now, do you remember James and John, the sons of Zebedee? When their mother came and was asking Jesus, please allow James to sit on your right, allow John to sit on your left. And Jesus was telling them some things about what it will take them to actually be on his left and on his right. You know how James and John ended up as disciples? Because they said, yes, we will do it. We will do it. Whatever you ask us to do, we will do. They didn't know what was coming. James was the first apostle to die for his faith. You know what he had told Jesus? He said he will gladly receive the cup of suffering. So he was the first apostle to go. John, his brother. You know John the Beloved now? The one that was cast into the Isle of Patmos. Before that, he was cast into a cauldron of boiling oil. He survived that. He escaped that. But he didn't survive the Isle of Patmos. He was cast there and left there, and that's where the book of Revelation came from. I am saying the price of greatness is responsibility. You want to be great. You want to get to higher heights. You have to show responsibility. I would like to read also from the book of John, chapter 10, verse 11. John, chapter 10, verse 11. Says, I am the good shepherd, and the good shepherd gives his life for the sheep. I am the good shepherd, and the good shepherd gives his life for the sheep. I'll also read John 15:13. John 15:13 says, the greatest love people can show is to die for their friends. The greatest love. And who did that? Do you know an example of somebody that did that? He's the greatest leader of all time. He's the leader of leaders. He is Jesus Christ. He showed the highest form of responsibility. So if you are looking at leadership, then you need to learn from Jesus. Let's talk about Jesus. Jesus Christ came to give his life as a ransom for as many people as believe in him. We all know what ransom is by now. In Nigeria, if you don't know what ransom is, I will put you in the category of one of those four right now. Those four that I discussed earlier. You know what ransom is? What's ransom? Somebody kidnapped you and kept you and is asking for a certain amount of money. And when they bring that money, they will release you. God help you. They release you and let you go. That's what Jesus came to do. The enemy kidnapped us, kept us in bondage, and was asking for life for life. He wanted life for life, and he got life for life. And that life was the life of Jesus. It was passion that led Jesus Christ from Gethsemane to the cross, to the tomb, and on to resurrection. Jesus had passion. He was willing to pay the price, the ransom, life for life. I'd like to read also Luke chapter 2, verse 49. Luke chapter 2, verse 49. Jesus said to them, why did you have to look for me? You should have known that I must be where my Father's work is. That's Jesus talking to his mom, and let's call him stepdad. Should we call him foster dad? Should we call him, who's Joseph? Foster dad. They had come to worship in Jerusalem, and they went back home. Along the way, they were thinking that, okay, he's in the crowd, he's in the crowd, he's in the crowd. Only for them to get home and discover that he wasn't there. So they had to go back to Jerusalem to look for him. They're like, son, where have you been? We've been looking for you. And this was his response. Why did you have to look for me? You should have known that I must be where my Father's work is. Jesus expressed that passion in the way he lived his life. The passion to use his life as a ransom for you and for me. He lived that life of passion. Are you ready to express your passion in the way you live your life? That thing that gives you energy, that thing that drives you. Are you ready to live your life following that passion? Still looking at Jesus, we look at John chapter 13. John chapter 13, verses 12 to 15. When Jesus finished washing their feet, he put on his clothes and went back to the table. He asked, "Do you understand what I did for you? You call me teacher, and you call me Lord. And this is right, because that is what I am. I am your Lord and teacher, but I washed your feet. So you also should wash each other's feet. I did this as an example for you, so you should serve each other just as I served you." Jesus modeled what he expected of his followers, you and me. He had to pull his outer garment and brought a towel and brought a basin and put water and was washing each of the apostles' feet. Peter, that used to be very forward, Peter can be very forward, was saying, "No, Jesus, you cannot wash my feet. Oh, I'm not allowing you to wash my feet." When Jesus said, "If I don't wash your feet, you are not a part of me," that was when his gra came down. And he didn't stop there. He was still saying, "Not only my feet, oh, you wash my head, you wash my body, you wash everywhere." He didn't know what Jesus was trying to do. I am showing you an example. He was modeling what he expected. So that when it is your time to be a leader, you will see yourself as too big. You are so big that you cannot be humble. You cannot bow. You have become a tin god that everybody fears you. That is not leadership. That is tyranny. Are you ready to model what you expect of your followers as you're becoming a leader? Jesus did that. He had to stoop down to do that. How do you wash somebody's feet standing? You have to stoop down. Jesus stooped down. So as you're becoming a leader, you had better get it right now, that you will stoop down. Also, I'm looking at John chapter 14, verses 12 and 13. John chapter 14, verses 12 and 13. I can assure you that whosoever believes in me will do the same things I have done, and they will even do greater things than I have done, because I am going to the Father. Whoever believes in me will do the same things I have done, and they will do even greater things than I have done. That is Jesus giving his followers hope. Jesus giving his followers deep conviction about their abilities to achieve greatness. This is a leader that is not threatened by followers' achievements. He was giving them hope. You can do it. You can do it. You can make it. You can get to that level. And so hope rises within you, knowing that if your leader was able to do that, then you also will be able to do that. Are you ready to let those you are going to lead? That's if you're becoming a leader, you're training to be a leader. Are you ready that those that you are going to lead will become more? You are not threatened by them becoming more. That should be your expectation. That those that will be following you will become more than you. You give them hope. You give them deep conviction. You can achieve that greatness. You cheer them on. I'll also look at Matthew 28, verses 18 and 19. Matthew 28, verses 18 and 19. It says, "So he came to them and said, 'All authority in heaven and on earth is given to me. So go and make disciples of all people in the world. Baptize them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit.'" What was Jesus doing here? He was inspiring his disciples to believe that anything is possible. Just go. My power is backing you. Just go. He was giving them confidence. Just go. So are you willing to inspire your followers to believe that anything is possible? I'll also look at Mark chapter 1 verse 35. You know I like scriptures a lot. By now you should know. Mark chapter 1 verse 35. Mark 1:35. "The next morning Jesus woke up very early. He left the house while it was still dark and went to a place where he could be alone and pray." Talking about the leader of leaders. Left the house while it was still dark so that he can be alone and he can pray. Jesus was a leader. Did I say was? Jesus is a leader who had a deep dedication to personal discipline when he was here on earth. Deep dedication to personal discipline. Do you know what it means to keep waking up every morning while it is still dark to go and pray? Because he knows he has responsibility. The lives of all of us here, those then and all of us here now, are in his hands. He has work to do. He had to pray. Prayer not a finish when it comes to Jesus. Leadership requires a lot of discipline. Others may, you dare not. There are some things you will not dare as a leader. Others can do it. Others can even get away with it. I don't have to do this. There's a 3-day fasting and prayer. No, I don't have to fast. I don't have the strength to fast. Whatever excuse we give. Others may. You as a leader, you dare not. You are on a higher pedestal. A lot is expected of you. So Jesus showed us that example. Another example is in Luke chapter 6, verses 12 and 13. Luke chapter 6, verses 12 and 13. "A few days later, Jesus went out to a mountain to pray. He stayed there all night praying to God. The next morning he called his followers. He chose 12 of them and called them apostles." There was a task ahead of him. He knew it was time to call the 12 apostles. And he was not just going to call anybody. He needed the direction from the Holy Spirit as to who will be one of the disciples. Even though at the end of the day, Judas was one of them and he did what he did. So he went out to the mountain to pray. And he stayed there all night praying to God. Jesus, even Jesus, imposed high standards on himself for the sake of fulfilling his purpose and his vision. We all know his purpose. We all know his vision. His purpose was to come and die. He had a ransom to pay. And that ransom was life for life. So when he got to that point where he needed to pick those that would be with him, those that would go with him on this journey, he needed to go and pray. He imposed that high standards on himself. What high standards are you willing to impose on yourself to become a leader? I'm not talking about leadership in church alone. No. So don't keep looking at church. Look at where you are, your mountain of influence. He imposed high standards on himself for that sake of fulfilling his purpose, fulfilling his vision. I would also like us to read Matthew chapter 14, verses 22 and 23. Matthew 14, 22, 23. Then Jesus made the followers get into the boat. He told them to go to the other side of the lake. He said he will come later. He stayed there to tell everyone they could go home. After Jesus said goodbye to the people, he went up into the hills by himself to pray. It was late and he was there alone. What is Jesus trying to show us here? Leadership is lonely. There will be time it will just be you alone. It's looking like, why am I the only? Why are there not people helping me? Where are my disciples? You are there alone. So you need to manage your aloneness because it will come as a leader. Jesus was willing to stay alone until his disciples were able to catch up. You know, it took them a while to catch up. Even when he picked Peter, James, and John and told them, pray with me. Are you sleeping? Pray with me. Those guys were sleeping, big time sleep. But by the time he was gone, that was when they realized that, man, this is hard labor. This guy suffered, though. It was their turn to suffer. So leadership can be lonely. Get that and get it right. If you are preparing to be a leader, there will be times that it will just be only you. And then you look around you, there's really nobody there, like, I'm the only one doing this thing. Why are there not other people doing it? Jesus was there. And he showed you that example. Also, this is a long read, so I will not read. John chapter 6, verses 5 to 13. John chapter 6, verses 5 to 13 was where we had a feeding of, we call it feeding of 5,000. But it were more than 5,000. It was only 5,000 men. And when you have 5,000 men, you know how many women will be there. And you know that wherever women are, you know how many children will be there. At least one woman to like 2 children, 4 children, 6 children. So they were more than 5,000. So Jesus, you know the story of how he prayed over the little that they had, and then the little multiplied into many. And at some point, Jesus was telling them, gather the remaining ones. Gather everything that is left. Don't waste anything. Can you help me see, is it 12 or 13? 12 or 13. Where Jesus said, gather the remaining. Okay? Jesus was a good shepherd of the physical resources for which he was responsible. He was the one that prayed for the multiplication. The multiplication came. People had so much to eat. There were leftovers. But they were not going to throw the leftovers away. Why do you think he didn't allow them to throw them away as a waste? Because people will still eat. If you eat this morning, by this afternoon, you still want to eat. So he was a good steward of what God committed into his hands. He was a good steward of those physical resources for which he was responsible. I also would like us to read John 21. It's also a long read. John 21, verses 15 to 18. John 21, 15 to 18. Media, please help me with this. John 21, 15 to 18. I really like to read the Bible. Okay, I have it here. When they finished eating, Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these other men you love? Do you love me more than these other men love me? Peter answered, yes, Lord, you know that I love you. Then Jesus said to him, take care of my lambs. Again, Jesus said to him, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter answered, yes, Lord, you know that I love you. Then Jesus said, take care of my sheep. A third time, Jesus said, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter was sad because Jesus asked him 3 times, do you love me? He said, Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you. Jesus said to him, take care of my sheep. The truth is, when you were young, you tied your own belt and went where you wanted. But when you are old, you will put out your hands and someone else will tie your belt. They will lead you where you don't want to go. What was Jesus trying to say to Peter? Feed my sheep. He kept saying it. Feed my sheep. Feed my lamb. Feed my sheep. Feed my lamb. Lamb are the babies of the sheep. The sheep are the adults, mommies and daddies. The lamb are the babies. So he gave Peter what to do. I will soon go away. Jesus was saying, I will soon leave. But before I leave, I need to commit things into the hands of people I can rely on. So Jesus committed to the priority of preparing those who will fill the position of leader in the future. When I leave, what's going to happen? When you leave that position, what's going to happen? Are you doing it in such a way that they will miss me? They will know that I have value. That is not quality leadership. Quality leadership is that when you leave, somebody should have been groomed to take over that position and even do better than you. It's expected. So that when they are saying it, they will say, Bobby Light trained you well. That Bobby Light trained you well. Bobby Light led you well. That was what Jesus showed us as example of leadership. That you commit to those that are coming behind you. To be able to fill your position in a very distinctive way. That shows you are a good leader. Also, Luke chapter 10. Luke 10:17. Luke chapter 10, verse 17. I read from 17 to 21. When the 72 followers came back from their trip, they were very happy. They said, Lord, even the demons obeyed us when we used your name. Jesus said to them, I saw Satan falling like lightning from the sky. He is the enemy, but you know that I have given you more power than he has. I've given you power to crush his snakes and scorpions under your feet. Nothing will hurt you. Yes, even the spirits obey you, and you can be happy, not because you have this power, but because your names are written in heaven. Then the Holy Spirit made Jesus feel very happy. Jesus said, I praise you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth. I am thankful that you have hidden these things from those who are so wise and smart, but you have shown them to people who are like little children. Yes, Father, you did this because it's what you really wanted to do. That is Jesus sending out the disciples, and they came back with a lot of testimonies of how demons were bowing at their feet, how there was a lot of running helter-skelter by the demons. At this point, Jesus wasn't threatened by the successful development of those he was leading. He was happy. He was happy that they're able to achieve what he has achieved. You know, there was a time that a man brought his son and he was complaining to Jesus because they prayed and prayed, nothing happened. He was complaining to Jesus that your disciples have been praying and nothing has happened. But at this point where they are now, they have become leaders in their own. They know now what it means to be a leader. So they are able to cast those demons out, not like before when demons were daring them. So Jesus wasn't threatened. Jesus was actually very happy. Yes, I've achieved what I want to achieve with your life. Now you can go and represent me well. He rejoiced when his followers developed into leaders, and he encouraged them to become greater and more effective than they were. Those are the examples of Jesus to his disciples. What more can I say? God is depending on you. He's depending on me, on our different spheres of influence. Let honor come to the name of Jesus because you are there. Let them see Jesus in how you do your work. That's small work of teaching children in the classroom. That's small work. Let it be so that the lives of these children are so touched that when you tell them about the love of Jesus, they know, yes, I've seen it in you. So I will charge you, the harvest is plenty. We have a whole lot to do. You have a mountain of influence. You have your space that you need to take for God. So as you If you're already a leader, you know what is expected of you. If you are just being trained to be a leader, know that you have a whole lot of work to do to achieve what you want to achieve. We have a perfect example in Jesus. He is the leader of leaders. And anytime you need his help, when you get to certain junctions and you don't really know what to do, you can call on him at every point, and he will lead and guide you. God bless you as I hand over to Pastor.
A round of applause one more time. God bless you.